Welcome to Hello Tomorrow. Hello Tomorrow is a podcast where we introduce remarkable individuals and their work to the world. A new episode will be available every fortnight on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all other major platforms. Now, over to Subhash.
Hello, listeners. Welcome to another episode of Hello Tomorrow. And today we are speaking with Sandy as a part of a lifestyle series. And I will leave Sandy to introduce himself. Hi, Sandy. Welcome to Hello Tomorrow.
Hi Subhash, thanks for having me here. First of all, my name is Sandeep Gadde, and I'm known as Sandy within this small CrossFit community that we have in Hyderabad. And about my introduction, so I've been doing CrossFit for the past 7 years, and I've been coaching CrossFit for the past 6 years. And uh, professionally, academically, I've done my master's in biotechnology, and I worked as a research associate in a biotech company for about 3 years. And I made that switch after that. Like, I moved from my professional career to CrossFit after 3 years working as a research associate in a biotech company. And I made this switch because CrossFit has changed a lot of things in the way I see things. I thought, if it has changed things for me, why not, I teach or, do the same thing with others just to, change their perspective towards life. That's how I got into CrossFit. And after that, I worked at multiple places as a coach. And after 4 or 5 years of hustle, just by coaching at different places, I started a place called CrossFit Mend, and this is it's been 2 years, and we're fairly doing well with the cute and small community that we've built over time. And here we share a lot of things other than fitness, sharing things as in we have bonds, friendships, everything here.
While the whole world is looking at various forms of fitness, and I'm sure you might have visited the normal gyms with those machines as well. How did CrossFit come in? Where did you first experience it, and how did you get started?
All right. So, first thing is, as I already mentioned, my background, I have a master's in biotechnology. I believe, or I see logic behind things, whatever it is. Like you tell me this is how you're supposed to do. I try to understand the logic behind it. Logic is nothing but science behind it. And so I found CrossFit when I went for my casual run during one of the summer holidays. So I saw these people doing some kind of a different style of training. And so I finished my run and I sat there just to observe what they're doing. One of the guys, he approached me and asked me if I could try that out. They said it's just gonna be for 8 minutes. Why don't you just give it a shot? So I went, I tried that 8-minute work, and I just gassed out, literally. And by then I was fit. I was running, and I was okay fit. I thought I was fit, maybe. Yeah, I thought I was fit. But then after that 8-minute workout, I realized that is what real fitness is. And then I heard the name CrossFit. That's what they were calling that boot camp as, CrossFit. So, and then I went back home, I Googled CrossFit, and then I read things about CrossFit, and I started understanding science, because it's my, it's towards, yeah, I got to see logic. So I was just looking for logics, and then I saw what CrossFit is. Basically, CrossFit means constantly varied high intensity functional training. So once I read that, I tried breaking that down, what is constant variation, what is high intensity, what is functional training. So I will just dive into the details of why I got hooked onto CrossFit. So first thing is functional movements. Functional movement basically means the movements that you do in your regular life. That can be running, jumping, lifting objects and putting it in your overhead shelf, all these movements that you generally do, like if your car breaks down, you push, if a dog chases, you run. So all these things, and if someone tries to snatch your bag, you'll pull it back, pulling. Yeah. All these are called functional movements, and you generally do them in your life without knowing. But then, if you train these movements at high intensity with a different kind of variation, as in like with loads and stuff, you generally get stronger at your life. Doing all these regular stuff. So that's why that got hooked on. That's how I got hooked on to CrossFit. Like, okay, this is something we need for life. Okay, these are the things that we do, like over and over again throughout your life. So that's something made me stop there just to observe, okay, this is why we need functional training. And then I moved on to the next part, constant variation. So the reason why we need constant variation in our training is if you're doing the same thing as a routine, your body will get used to it. That's why CrossFit has applied this logic of not keeping it as a routine. It constantly changes the style of doing things. Like one day you will be doing a short workout, one day you will be doing a long workout, the other day you will be doing heavy workout, like where you will just be lifting weights. So they're trying to expose you to a lot of things that you can face in life. So that is constant variation. So doing functional movements at constant variation, awesome. And then I realized high intensity part. High intensity is doing things faster. It's nothing but high intensity is nothing but power output. If your power output is more, that's basically high intensity. So that is nothing but work by time. The more work you do in less time, the more intense the workout is. So after reading all these things, I saw, okay, that's the logic. So if you do constantly varied functional training at high intensity is equal to fitness. And that's what CrossFit is. And that's how I picked up CrossFit and not any other, fitness field.
Thank you for going in as detail as required with CrossFit and why you chose CrossFit. But then, in general, what is your definition of fitness, and how should fitness play a role in everyone's life?
Okay, so fitness is relative to that person's ability. So I would say there are a lot of different age groups, depending upon their profession, depending upon their ability to do things. Fitness differs, or the definition of the fitness changes from person to person. But according to CrossFit, fitness basically means doing different types of physical abilities. There are like a lot of definitions in CrossFit itself for fitness, because everyone explains fitness in a different way. Okay, so for a 90-year-old or 70-year-old lady, she doesn't need to lift 100 kilo deadlift. For her, fitness is lifting her grandson or granddaughter up. That's fitness for her. If she can do it at 70 years of her age, that's good. Like, she's functionally fit. And for a professional lifter, they have to lift like heavy weights. Okay, that's fitness for them. And for a marathon runner, they need to run long distances. That's fitness for them. So the definition changes from person to person, okay, for fitness. But so according to CrossFit, getting better at all these different things together is fitness. Like we do long distance runs as well. So that is basically marathon training, which is aerobic training. Right. So getting aerobic training done, and also we also lift weights. That is like the short time frame. So getting lifts done, and we also do something between 15 to 20 minutes. Okay, so that is basically a different time domain. So we get better at long distances, short workouts, and also heavy workouts. So the intention is to get better at all these 3 different or 4 different domains, and that is fitness according to CrossFit. The other way of seeing it is, so if your medical parameters are like fine. People think that they're fit, like say BP normal, blood sugar normal, LDL and HDL levels normal, cholesterol levels normal. If you see a medical parameters, if everything is on point within the normal range, they assume that they're fit. But that is not fit. That is basically just a wellness phase.
Right.
Okay, you're exactly at the center of the graph, center of the yeah. And then if it falls onto this side, it's sickness. If it falls onto the other side, it's fitness. So if your medical parameters are on point, don't assume that you're fit. You're exactly at the wellness state. To get fit, you need to exercise, eat well, do all these things just to stay physically active. That will slowly move your graph from wellness state to fitness state. But if you don't do any of these things right, or if you just don't eat well, don't sleep well, you stress out on things, all these things, the graph will move towards the other side, which is your sickness. This is also another way of explaining what is fitness. So getting medical parameters better than normal levels is fitness. Below that is sickness. Exactly there is wellness.
Very much, very much. Thank you. So, as a coach and as the owner of a box, how's your typical day? By the way, for the listeners, in general, because most of these facilities are in a square shape or a rectangular shape, it is called a box. And typically in CrossFit community, the gyms or the place where workout is done is called a box. So how is a typical day as a coach and the owner of the place?
So first thing is I don't consider myself as the owner of the box for some reason.
Okay.
That's because I always feel like a coach. Okay, when I'm coaching sessions, when I'm talking to people also, I always consider I'm a trainer first and then the owner of the box or whatever. So so I don't even look things like a owner, and I don't even have that perspective of seeing things as a owner, as a business owner. I just try to impact people's lives on a personal note. So that's what I have with my athletes as well. I don't call them clients for a reason. I call them athletes because that's how I treat them, like most of the times. If I'm a business owner or if I'm an owner of the box, I call them as clients, but I call them athletes for this reason.
Very much. Maybe you might call yourself for owner on the weekend or year end when you check the balance sheet. So
maybe yes. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, so my life as a trainer is so generally I start my day very early because of the sessions that we have in the morning. And throughout the day, my day starts off with a early morning session, which is a packed session, which is generally like super energetic, and that's where you also jump in and train.
Very much.
So you know how that energy is there, throughout. So the positive vibes are like throughout until we finish that work. And so I kind of like focused on my craft and work, like what that days I focus on that day's workout, whatever we plan. I try to get 100% or like max potential out of that, out of my athletes on that specific day, because you never know what your athletes are going through. Could be a bad day. Maybe they didn't eat well last night or they didn't sleep well, so you don't know what they're going through. So I try to connect with them on the personal note, and I try to understand what they're trying to do, and then I'll try to push them to their max limit for that day, and then once they feel good about that day, we basically sort things there, and then the target for me as a trainer for a day is to provide them the best hour of their day. Okay, I mean, whatever their profession is, whatever their lifestyle is, however stressed they are in life, the target for me is to provide them the best hour of their day. And I'm assuming that's what most of them feel like, because this is something that I heard from people. Like, the moment they come to the box, they forget everything, and then they focus on the work, they focus on what we're trying to do, they try to give their 100%. And I try to give them the same vibe when they step in, like whatever it is, I try to fill their thoughts with positive vibes so that they can function throughout. And that's how my day as a trainer is like throughout sessions, talking to athletes and getting them better with what they want to do, and that's how it is for me as a trainer.
And I guess the sense of community is really awesome at our box. Not just here, I guess it is the same across all the facilities across the world. Why do you think the community gets together, and the the feelings in the community is really strong?
So this is the fun thing, because I mean, so whoever is coming in, the community is basically like whoever is walking into the box, they're there for the same reason. One is to get fit, and so they are like so into it. They're not just getting fit themselves; they're actually pushing others to get fit. So they're suffering together, or they're learning together. They're doing most of the things together, because all these sessions are group sessions. So you will build that bond. So this is like a school, as we already mentioned, like a school. Like you come here, and I'm like a teacher where I'm talking, and then you have those naughty kids in one corner talking, and you have those super enthu kids in the one corner where they're trying to make things happen. So all these things, this is like a school. So this is what happens to you back in the school, right? You have your friends, you have your own circles, but here the circle is slightly bigger. It's not just like 4 or 5, it's much bigger than that, because we have something called leaderboard in the box, and this is what actually keeps the community together. How the leaderboard works is, whoever walks in right after the workout, we take their scores down. Score as in whatever the load that they have lifted, or the score that they got, whatever it is, the number of reps that they get, or whatever. So we put all those numbers down, and then when someone else from a different batch comes down, and he generally, there's a tendency when you have a competition going on, you always try to see who's beating me, who's there, who's doing what, and that is there. Like, even though they don't know your face, they know your name through the board,
Right.
and then they still try to compete with you, and they try to beat you. And so without knowingly, that sense of community, it's established like throughout. It's not just a local, or it's not just a men thing, it's a global thing, because that's what happens throughout the globe. And that's what happens in CrossFit Open as well. It's basically a small competition that CrossFit organizes throughout the world. So you can actually see people competing throughout the world. And say if you have your friend living in the US, and he's doing it, and you're doing it here, and you can still compare your scores for the same workout, like, how many reps did I get, how much weight did I lift, and how much did he lift. You can always do that. So there's always it's a global community, I would put it that way. That's how we have that sense of bonding over fitness.
Yeah, even if one of us miss a session, a certain day, we end up texting them and checking if all is good, and if they require something from us. So yeah, and I'm happy. A couple of times I am on the top of the leaderboard as well. Thanks to you for making sure my technique is right, and I keep getting better.
It's my pleasure. That's what we do.
So, what are your impressions of the fitness industry in general? What are the positives and what are the negatives? In general, not just CrossFit, but then the fitness industry in general.
Positive. I mean, I would say there's only positive stuff going on in fitness industry. Fitness industry is directly related to health, because fitness is the answer for all the chronic and metabolic diseases. To tell you frankly, diabetes, including cancer, because cancer is also a metabolic disease. So all these medical complications or diseases or syndromes or whatever, the answer is fitness. If you are, as I already mentioned, the sickness, wellness and fitness continuum, if you are practicing, or if you're doing physical activity properly, and if you're eating well, you will be fit. And if you're not following any of these, you will fall beyond, I mean, your graph goes down and you fall into that sickness phase. And this is how fitness is impacting throughout. Okay, and let it be CrossFit, let it be anything else, like any other fitness type that you take. So that's how directly this is impacting.
Uh, my thing with regards to the negative aspect of it is how people exploit it. That was my point.
Okay, so negative thing is, yeah, I mean, so it's mostly like these fad diets and stuff that people suggest, or I mean the things that people do without logic.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the negative part of it. I mean, it might have worked for someone. That doesn't mean it works for you. You need to understand why it worked for him, and is it like suitable for me and stuff. Like, say someone's doing it for himself, and if it's working, and he's trying to sell that to someone else, that might not work. These certain things, these are the negative impacts of. I don't know if it's marketing or whatever. The intention is to make money out of it. So when your intention is to make money, maybe you're doing something right, but which has no logic. Okay, so you need to see the science behind things, and I personally feel if there's no logic behind things that you're doing, and you're trying to sell that to people, that's rubbish. Okay, and that is the negative part of the the fitness industry. So say it can be, let me put it this way. If you are, I read it somewhere, like I don't know if this is true or not. So there's this company, some company, they are selling some nutrition supplements, saying that if your zodiac sign is this, you have to take this. Okay, if your zodiac sign is this, you have to take this. How does a zodiac sign decide their deficiencies and micronutrients and stuff? And then the fancy things that you see on TV channels saying that, okay, come to us, like you will lose like 30 kilos in 5 days, 30 kilos in 10 days. I mean, that's rubbish. If you're doing that, I don't know, like you might end up killing that person as well. That's how negatively this is impacting people. Like there's no logic, and then they're selling it to people, and without, people being unaware of all these things, they go, they take, they try, and they buy all these things, and then they realize it later. So that's the negative side of it. So I personally feel, see the logic, understand. If you don't know, talk to someone who has experience, or who has expertise like on those things. Understand it from them, and then go for it if you need to.
I brought this up because I myself might have come across 100 or 200 odd ads which promise stuff like, oh, come over 30 kilos in a month or 2 months. Even in 2 months or 3 months, that is really unhealthy.
That is unhealthy.
Really unhealthy.
Yeah.
As in, my dearest listeners, please do apply logic even when you are getting into fitness, or coming up with your plans for fitness, because there are few things that do not have any logic as such, because you might be told that, oh, I know everything, I am the best, or stuff like that, but then it might end up to affect your health in long term. It might not affect you now, but then say we have at an average 80 or 90 odd years to live, it will affect you in long term. So please do think of it in a logical sense before you go ahead and take a call. So, Sandy, what are your suggestions if you would give to an average person on fitness, if they don't have any equipment or whatever, they are not really in a state to pay up for a gym or stuff? So, what would your suggestions be for an average person?
So, to tell you frankly, I don't consider myself as some fit person or anything. I'm just that average person because it's my work or whatever. So I don't do like fitness for like hours and hours. I'm just a trainer, okay, and I run the business. So you can consider me as that average Joe,
Sure.
with interest to work out. And so what I do as an average person is I just try to stay active. It can be any kinds. So if I don't have access to weights, I will still try to do something with my body weight, understanding the positions and stuff. I'll try to do something, because you moving your body is also a weight. Okay, that is also resistance. Lifting your body by doing some air squats is also fitness. Doing push-up is also fitness. So all these. So you don't need weights or equipment to do a lot of stuff. You can still do fitness if you want to do it. It's as simple as that. And the other thing is not having access to gym, it doesn't matter at all. I mean, as I already mentioned, if you need weights, you can actually use stuff that you have at home. You can use atta packet, okay, that is like 5 kilos, 10 kilos, that is also a weight. And you can use maybe your table to perform, like, dips or push-ups and stuff. Like, you get everything at home. Okay, you can do things at home without even going to a fitness space. And that's what I did during the lockdown. That's an eye-opener for me. Like, I mean, once during the lockdown, my gym access was closed and gyms were shut. Like, so I had to stay at home. So I was doing things, whatever I could do at home, and that really worked for me. I didn't lose anything. The moment the doors were open, I came back. We kind of started slowly, and the rhythm picked up, and we're normal. So that is how it is. Like, I'm assuming that lockdown life that I had was a perfect average Joe life. Like, no access to the gym, no weights at your place, but you just need to be consistent, and if you want to stay fit, you just do that properly, and make sure you're eating properly. When I say eating properly, you don't need any fancy fad foods or anything. Like, you don't need expensive organic and stuff. Like, you just have to eat right amount of food and quality food. Okay, proteins, carbohydrates, fats, and a lot of vegetables. That's all you need to lead a healthy life, being an average person or an average Joe.
Thanks for bringing that up, Sandy, because listeners, in one of the few next episodes, we'll try to have a nutritionist talk to us about what what is a carbohydrate, what is what, and how you can choose your macro and micronutrients to get you the perfect mix. So, Sandy, aside from fitness, what are a few mantras or rules that you personally believe in your life? Or things that have really impacted you, things that you've done that have impacted you?
Okay, so I mean, I personally like doing things without expecting anything out of it. You got to do what you got to do, is what I believe in. So say, if I mean, so I mean, the example is this: like, if someone approaches me for some help, I don't expect anything back. If I can do it, I'll just do it. And this is something I believe in, because that just like comes back to you in something else or somewhere else. That is something that I believe in. And wherever you are, whatever you do, just like stay humble, and because you never know what the other person is going through. And you can be at a higher position, you can be doing something greater than someone else, but you don't know what the other person is going through. So I personally like to connect with that person on personal level as much as possible, and I try to get into their shoes and understand what they're going through. I mean, that's pretty much is what I personally believe in.
Sure. So, what plans do you have for yourself and for the box going forward?
I mean, I get this question mostly from a lot of people with business views and stuff. My plans are pretty simple, straightforward. I just want to impact more lives with this, platform, and I want to take fitness and I want to make people fit, and I want to tell people that you don't need fancy, or like you don't need uh, any fancy fad nutrition or anything to get fit. So that is my goal. Like I just want to take that path of educating people, and I want to impact their lives in getting better. And I'm not seeing like huge monetary changes or anything at the box level. I just want to do whatever I'm doing at this point, and I want to impact more lives the same way and make this community as big as possible, so that we can spread some fitness and joy.
Yeah, making them stronger, fitter, mentally and well as
Yeah.
physically, better, making them better every day.
Yes, that's the plan.
Uh, and lastly, what would you give as a suggestion, or a few suggestions for individuals who want to join the fitness industry or think of fitness industry?
So this is, this is pretty simple. Fitness is it's not something that's fancy. Everyone needs it. It's like the moment you wake up, you go and brush your teeth or you use the washroom. Fitness should be like that. It has to be a part of your life. You cannot just say, I don't have 30 minutes for myself. Okay, you must have heard this before from people. I don't have time. I mean, I myself have told that before, like before
Many of
getting
us
into
have.
many. Yeah, we all have done that. We all have said that we are busy and we don't have time. That's just an excuse, for your laziness. So I personally believe everybody has that time. Like you have at least 1 hour for yourself. You actually don't need 1 hour also. If you can plan things up, all you need is like 10-20 minutes for you to stay fit. And that's what we do. Like, my workouts are generally like 10-20 minutes max. But I mean, we try to do that at a higher intensity so that we stay fit, So that's what you need when you are doing. You don't need any fancy stuff to stay fit. Just keep it simple. Start with something very simple. And if you are starting off, if you're thinking of starting off, don't need to think, just start off. It's your time to kick off, and you will understand the benefits within no time. Okay, your energy levels will go up, the way you see things will change, your body feels lighter, and you'll be more confident, your sleep quality increases. All these are the things that you need. Fitness will give you all the positive things that you need. So this is what I'll tell someone, like, who's thinking of joining. Don't think, jump in.
And never have fitness as a new year resolution. Probably just start whenever it is.
Exactly, like that doesn't work.
Yeah.
That's again this thing. Say people might think, okay, today is Thursday and I'll go from Monday. Why? What happened to Friday and Saturday? So you can start wherever you are. You don't need that Monday to start.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you don't need the first of the month to. You need to start. Like, you don't need the first day of the year to start your fitness journey. You can start. You can pick it up from wherever you are and just do fitness. It's not as complex as you think. You just like go out there, find the best people out there, like they will help you out in your fitness journey. And we are like we're training to be fit for the life.
Yeah.
We're not going to be professional athletes. We're not going to compete anywhere. I mean, I'm not competing anywhere. We just want to be fit, and we want to when I get old, that's the goal. Like, when I'm like 80-90 years, I should be able to pick up stuff from the floor. I wouldn't be needing help from people to do my stuff.
Yeah.
That is the goal for me. And this is what, if you want to have a lifestyle like that, you got to start your fitness right now, and then just stick to it. Consistency. You don't need to push, or you don't need to lift heavy weights or anything. Just stick to whatever you're doing and stay consistent with it, and have a healthy lifestyle.
And Sandy, you've got quite a number of certifications. Could you please list them out for us?
So basically my CrossFit journey has started with CrossFit level 1.
Sure.
After level 1 certification, I coached for about 2 years, and then I did my level 2. And after that, I continued my coaching for about 2 more years, and then I did my level 3. These are the main certifications: level 1, level 2, level 3. And there are, I think, I mean, if I'm not wrong, I'm one of the 6 CrossFit level 3 trainers in India, and there are 700 or 800 in the world. And other than this, I did my kids certification, I did my gymnastics certification, I did my CrossFit weightlifting certification, and I did master's certification. Master's certification is basically how to train people over 40 plus. That's what it talks about, masters. And and multiple certifications, like all these are online courses, but I finished them as well along with my level 3. So these are the certifications that I've.
So you have the quite the range, toddlers to masters.
Yeah, because I mean that's how I believe in, like, fitness is for all age groups. Okay, so we do have a 3-year-old who's training at the box, and we also have a 62-year-old who's training at the box. So they might be coming for different sessions or different things, but then they are doing fitness. So that is the whole point of the game. Like, you can start your fitness when you're too young, or when you're elder as well. Like, when you reach that 60 plus as well. So it's not a problem.
Yeah, so there is no right age, right day, right moment to start. Just get started whenever.
Yes, that's what.
And weights don't affect anyone, so don't get into such misconceptions.
That you will be bulky by lifting weights. No, you need to lift weights. Well, I mean, I'm sure like a lot of girls, they have this question, or like they say like, oh, with lifting weights, they make me look like a man, or they make me look bulky. They have this question. But they are lifting weights throughout their life. They're carrying their handbags. They are no less. They weigh about 6-7 kilos. That's a weight, and they do a lot of other stuff as well, like carrying their books, or moving things around. Like
in their houses itself, they move a lot of things around.
Move lot of things around, and when they're traveling, they move their suitcases and stuff. They're heavy enough. Like that's weights. So those are the things that at that level, those are the things that we do in the gym at a constantly weighted style. That's all, and that doesn't make them bulky. Okay, so they'll just get fitter for the rest of their life. That's all.
So listeners, eat good food, or my meaning of good food is eat healthy food, do good exercise. It can be yoga or whatever form of exercise you want to do, and get some good sleep, and that is how you can better your lifestyle, is what Sandy says. Thank you, Sandy, for making time out and joining us today.
My pleasure.
And we will come back with another episode in the lifestyle series with another very, very remarkable individual with whom we can talk and understand on their journey. Have a great week ahead, and wait for my next podcast with another remarkable guest.
Please do subscribe and share our podcast, and do join us on this journey of learning.